Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great evening. I wanted to shed some light or my opinion, which I really hate that I'm doing this because I am not a fan of this person, but it seems to have taken over the internet as far as what's the street code for when it comes to being arrested and either making the decision to speaking with, you know, speaking with the DA, the feds, whatever you want to call it, the federal government, and be what they say a rat, a snitch, when you just decide to share things to reduce your sentence. This person, and I'm saying this loosely because I don't think he's ever earned his title as a rapper. Never been a big fan at all of what his stage name as Takashi 69 or 69. His actual name is Daniel Hernandez, born in 96, only 23 years old, right? Has his whole life ahead of him. As far as getting into the details of gang or not gang, I'm not going to get into that. My narrative is basically to discuss what I think about this whole snitching thing, because it's really have taken over the internet. So many people I see on social media really discussing this like it's a political topic, going back and forth. And it's politics, street politics, going back and forth, right? You hear it all the time, if the mafia talks, you're a rat, forget about it. You be swimming with the fishes, and so forth and so forth. My view on this whole policy, and I say policy because it is a very serious, street political. It's street politics, and it is serious for those who live on the streets, and I mean live by meaning either in criminal activities, right? Who's involved in criminal activity? It's serious. No one wants anyone around them in that environment, in that life of criminal activities, to have anyone that's a weak link and feel that if anyone would get arrested for any criminal activities, that they would actually snitch on their fellow, group. And not every criminal activity is gang related, but in general, you could snitch on whatever, the situation is, right? Anyway, my view with this, I grew up in a neighborhood. Well, before I even get into that, like I said, he's only 23 years old. His name is Daniel Hernandez. He's listed as an American rapper and songwriter, and I use that very loosely. It's actually a compliment. Sorry. Small fonts. He pleaded guilty for racketeering conspiracy to racketeering conspiracy and 8 other charges. Could be facing like 47 years in prison and a maximum sentence of a life imprisonment, right? So he's scheduled to be sentenced January 24th, 2020. So it's around the corner. Possibly facing a mandatory sentence of 47 years in prison, is cooperating with the federal prosecutors, right? So he's been lately known, according to journalists, in everyone's court, sorry, multitasking, it's not working out this moment, but bear with me. Apparently, he's been allegedly, and I say allegedly because we don't know whether he's lying or not, just to get out certain situations. I mean, apparently he's mentioning names. He's dropping names, as they say in the street, dropping names, providing names to the court with the federal government regarding gang activities. I'm not going to even mention the gang, the name of the gang. That's not what I'm care to discuss. And lately, he's been pretty much a joke on social media about being a rat and dropping all these names to the federal government as a plea deal. And a lot of people are arguing that if you were facing 47 years, 70, whatever it is, wouldn't you snitch? Wouldn't you talk, right? See, the problem with that is, and this is my take, it might not be popular with a lot of people. And I think you have to live in a certain, have grown up in a certain neighborhood to understand what happens to you when you do disclose information. But I'm all, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for opening up your mouth. If something happens to my mother, anyone in my family, and I know who it is, I'm singing like a canary. I mean, that's family. You know, that's has nothing to do with, let's say, if I was in the street doing and being involved with criminal activity, that I'm all for that. What I'm saying is, there's a difference between speaking up to someone that's hurt your family and you know what's going on, or to some people would take justice in their own hands. Listen, as long as my family members are safe, nothing happens, and God forbid something happens and I know it, I'm gonna be like, that dude or that chick over there, I don't care, right? However, it's a whole different situation if you decide to live that street life and be involved in any criminal activity, right? If you choose that street life, if someone approaches you about that street life, and for whatever it is, you know, I'm assuming he was, what, 19, 20 years old when they approach him about music. Let's say, right? If you choose to, right, you got to think about it before making the decision of being involved in any street activity, any criminal activity in the streets, whether it's just, you know, selling weed or selling whatever, racketeering, whatever it is, anything that's criminally going to increase your chances extremely high in getting caught and locked up. You have to say to yourself, do I have a stomach for this? Am I gonna really have a stomach for this if I ever get caught, right? Because if you're out there doing illegal activity, you increases you increasing your chances of getting caught, right? Now, if that's what you chose, right, to be in that street life, like to call it, then if you were man or woman enough, because I'm including females, because it's females who decide to be in the same street career background, then be man and woman enough also to say, you know what, if I get caught, if you do get caught, if you get arrested, don't snitch. Yes, there's no friends, there's no true friends in the street. At the end of the day, your family's there, but why choose that? And all of a sudden you're thinking about your child, all of a sudden you're thinking about your mother and all this stuff, and my auntie is sick, or my grandma, all of a sudden I gotta speak up because of my child. You're putting all your family members in danger, first of all, right? For snitching. You're not considering that, you're not considering at all that you're famous, and there's going to be reporters in the courtroom listening to everything, right? They're going to be reporting back to the world. So where's the mother of your child? Where's your child? Where's your mother or your grandmother? I think he only, from what I understand, his mother is what he was, that's still in his life. But my point is, I'm sure he has family, right? I just don't understand how. I totally get it. 23 years old, you're shivering, scared to death, I'm sure, of the possibility of facing whatever, many years, right? He'll be coming out in his 60s or something. Please don't, no judging if I did the math wrong. So 60s or 70s, right? But my point is, he pled guilty, right? For a reduced charge. Just plead guilty and say, I plead guilty, and not give up anyone and put your whole family at, I'm sure they're probably he negotiated that they will be safe, and they got relocated in the middle of the night or something. Who knows? His lawyer can be that stupid. Maybe so. I don't know. But you're putting everybody in danger that knows you, as far as family and extended family and all those cousins and all this. But my point is, if you do not have the stomach for it, don't do it. If you cannot handle the street life, then you can't handle the prison time. Don't do it. There's ways in the criminal system to negotiate a lesser time if you pled guilty without dropping names. That means they got to you. It's plain and simple. They just got to him. So no, in other words, if you do not have the stomach for it, and you're not man and woman enough to live that life in the street, first of all, then don't do it. Now, I read a statement that the rapper T.I., which he earned his title, Tip Harris, he mentioned that he thinks it's okay for Takashi to be walking around in the streets if he's let out loose for early, time served, even if he's a rat, because he says there's rat among us walking and out here. So what makes it any different? He has a very good point. There are snitches among us that we may or may not know about. All right? Walking the streets and living their lives. So what makes it different? I don't know if it makes any difference. This is a huge case. Everyone knows about it. He's a familiar face. I mean, it's everywhere. He's apparently mentioning names. I'm not going to say dropping names because I don't even know if it's, who knows if it's true or not. I'll be honest with you. 23, I'm sure he's, excuse my language, he's probably needs to walk around with Pampers in there. And he probably has to walk around, show up in court with Pampers. I'm sorry to say that. He probably was scared to death when they first got him and arrested him. Anyway, my point is, I totally get what T.I. the rapper said, that he doesn't see a problem with Takashi walking around if, with time served, because there are rats that live among us, right? I mean, for us, I'm referring to those people who are into the street life. Those people in the street, they know who's a snitch on the street in their neighborhood. Everybody knows everybody, right? Totally get that. But this is publicized so much to an extent. I don't see him living a life that he's freely just to walk or drive somewhere, let's say, or to be driven somewhere. I just don't see it, only because it's publicized and he's so well known. I see him probably under the witness protection program, just to be on the safe side, that I would negotiate. So anyway, people, that's my point of view on this whole Takashi thing case, and how it's gotten so overwhelming online regarding the whole street code of snitching. If I was him, I probably would try my best to negotiate. I would have negotiated less time if I just pled guilty, because obviously if I know I did all what they're saying, then I just pled, but without mentioning names, just to protect my family and also to have a life afterwards, right? It's not going to be much in the 70s. Not only that, but even if he does 47 years or he does 20, my point is, any gang affiliated person in the prison system is not safe. Probably would have to be segregated in somewhere else, separate, alone, for his safety, or not. I mean, all depends. But no, I just think that, in a nutshell, just for the safety of your family and putting so many people within your family and loved ones in danger, I would have just taken it on the chin and try to negotiate with my lord to see if he can have a reduced time without cooperating and just play guilty, especially if they have all these all the proof. And my lawyer says, they do have this, they do have that, and they have proof. And then, if I plead guilty, see what you could do. See what you could get me. Try to get a reduced sentence from the original sentence. Not start mentioning people, getting people and putting people in danger, even putting those people that you are allegedly describing as involved, their family, their people in danger. Especially, apparently he's mentioning people that, in his own words, said former gang member, right? Former. Why are you even mentioning former for? If they were former gang members and they changed their life and they're doing something else, why can't you just leave them alone? Like, focus on only on focus on that little group of people that allegedly kidnapped you and did whatever, and are also being charged with similar charges. Focus on that. Focus on the active ones, right? What's the point of even, or what's the point of even mentioning people who, let's say, are related to the gang that he said that he was a part of, but are not related to the case? What's the point of all this? Listen, this is my view, my opinion. I don't think he has a lot of credibility. I really don't, but his family didn't ask for all this, so he needed to consider their well-being, their safety first. So it's going to be an interesting few months for January until January 2020 to see what's going to happen. I don't know who else he's going to mention that was part of a form of. It's getting ridiculous, right? To the point. Well, anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I think I spoke enough on this as it is already. Gave him way too much airtime, but since it's a fascinating case and it's taking over the social media, I just wanted to kick some street politics. If you're in that world and you get caught, just take the L, as they say. Just take the loss. You can negotiate whatever you want to negotiate. It's your right. And don't bring everybody down with you, especially those people who have nothing to do with your case and put your loved ones and family in danger. You know, that's just my opinion. So yes, I do support no snitching. I'm not in that world, but I still support it. It's none of my business what people do in the streets. So why put my family in danger? I'm just running my mouth. I mean, but if you're in that world, be an adult and say, before I even step into this type of environment and live this type of life, am I going to be able to handle jail time, prison time, without bringing everybody around me down? If I'm guilty, then I'm guilty. I'm just going to take it in the chin and, negotiate what I can negotiate, but I'm not going to rat anyone out. That's just my opinion. It's not, I know that it's not a very popular opinion with police officers or just, but like I said, growing up in the neighborhood I grew up, I've seen things, and your label as a snitch, it's not a good color. It's not a good color. And I say it's not a good color because I'm like thinking, I'm thinking of the color brown, rat. You label brown the color of a rat, you might as well just pick out your coffin. They don't use coffin anymore, the word. Sorry, a casket. I'm showing my age. A casket. Yeah, you might as well pick out your casket. But anyway, all right. So enough with this topic. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, please. If there's any other topics that you would like me to discuss, I will. There's other things that's happened in the news that I've decided to chime in and give you my view on it. Why not? So take care, and thank you for watching, and be kind to everyone.